All right. Dave Juicebox here. Thank you for coming back for another Morphonauts video review. And today we are looking at this badass right in front of all these clones, this ARC Trooper. So let's go ahead and see what the deal is with this guy. Let's take these other clones, put them off to the side. And then there was one. All right. So this is a Phase 2 ARC Trooper. This is one of the bonus figures that Morphonauts sent to me. I was very excited to see this. I really wanted to check out this figure when I saw him posted on his Instagram, and definitely wanted to have a go at it. We'll go through the usual articulation. We'll take a look at some of the features, what you can expect from this figure. Then we'll talk a little bit about how I painted it and how you can do the same. So, what else can we say about these figures that you haven't already heard if you've seen the previous videos I've posted? These things are incredible. About 2.5 inches tall. I will have a comparison with some other figures later in the video. You can see what they look like side by side. But these things are just hyper-articulated, 3D printed resin, just packed with detail and features that you normally expect on larger scale figures, 6-inch, 7-inch figures. One of my favorite things about Morphonauts figures is the removable helmet. That's pretty much standard on every figure. Go ahead and pop that off. I actually went with a couple different iterations of face paint for this guy. Knocking stuff off camera. This one's more of your standard clone. I'll also post some pictures of more of a shaved head goatee look that I also did up. It's always nice to have options. I think that guy looks pretty cool, just sort of as is. He comes with 2 DC-15, is that right? DC-15 pistols. Let's see if I can focus in on that. Yeah, comes with 2 of those. In terms of removable parts, aside from the helmet, the shoulder pauldrons are attached. That's part of the torso sculpt, so you don't have to worry about those coming loose or not looking totally straight. The belt and comma. So this is something that I modified. Of course, you'll notice that this is soft goods. This is fabric. The stock figure comes with a plastic comma, or a resin comma rather, which doesn't move. It looks good. Design-wise, it looks good. It's just that as soon as I saw it, I knew that it was gonna have to go because it was going to create a lot of paint rub anywhere that those pieces of resin would contact, specifically on the thighs. So I went ahead and just modified that. I removed the holsters that you do see on the soft goods comma. I removed those, just sort of cut them off using some trimmers, and I just cut a piece of cloth. I just sort of eyeballed it. I don't really measure stuff or anything. I just kind of go for it. Cut a strip of fabric, glued it to the belt, and then glued the holsters onto the fabric. And that's that. And the posability is great. You'll see that here in a second when we go over articulation. Aside from that, it's kind of standard stuff. Let's see. I guess things of note, the calves are new. Thigh pieces use the standard Clone Trooper thigh armor that you see on the other Morphonauts Phase 1 and Phase 2 figures. The calves are new. They are the ARC mold, so super cool there. What else? I mean, that's basically it, It's a very, it is what it is figure, and that is not a bad thing. So cool. All right, let's take a look at some articulation. I'm going to pop the helmet back on so we can look at this. Standard Morphonauts, two ball pegs, one going into the head, one going into the neck, gives you some really good range of motion. I do want to point out this rangefinder on the helmet. It is, it's probably the thinnest piece of plastic on this figure, and it is sturdy. I wouldn't recommend getting crazy with it, but it's not going to snap off on you, at least in my experience with this figure. It's been great. Double ball peg, attaching the torso into the diaphragm torso to the lower torso, gives you nice ab crunch. Goes back too. Again, ball joint at the waist gives you, tilt, lean, etc. The belt is floating, so that does not impede articulation at all. That's going to move with you. The ball pegs at the hips bring you up about that far. So again, you can see that the belt is not going to impede that. You can see again already where we're going with the posing. Look how dynamic that is with the comma. Imagine that guy in a running pose. Let's maybe not arms outstretched, maybe running like so. Little torso twist, little epic. He's running that way for the Republic, yeah. Double swivels at the knees, so really good range there. Ball peg, it's attached at the foot, goes into the ankle, so it gives you up and down, simulates a little bit of rocker movement, gives you enough to plant your feet firmly on the ground, like so. All right. Oh, also, swivel at the elbow attaches to it's an interesting joint. It's a swivel that attaches at the lower arm, and it's attached to a ball that goes into the bicep. The ball, it basically acts as a swivel. You're not going to get ball range at the bicep. Probably a good thing because I'm pretty sure humans aren't supposed to move that way. But yeah, there's that, and then a ball at the wrist gives you up, down, and then you can rotate around. So good stuff there. All right. Let's talk about paint. So this was, if you watched my last video on the Warhammer Space Marine, I tried some new things with that one, just in terms of not fully disassembling the figure, seeing if we could cut down on prep time and paint time just by leaving some parts assembled. And dude, did the same thing with this guy. Worked great. Spray painted everything except the upper torso in white. Then the upper torso I spray painted black. Just because that was going to be the base color of the pauldron. From there, I just did, what did I do? I painted all the yellow parts, just using a base yellow. What color is that? It's Army Paint or War Paint's Demonic Yellow. That does look demonic, doesn't it? On top of that, I did an orange wash, which kind of gives it that depth. It really starts bringing out those textures and colors. On top of all that, I did another wash of gray all over the figure, even on the yellow parts, just to simulate that grime and grossness all over the figure. After that, I painted the black parts black. So that way you're painting over the wash, right? So that way you don't have to worry about when you're... I used to do the black parts first, and then I would do the wash on just the parts that I wanted to get the wash on, hoping not to get it on the black parts, and then I'd have to go back and redo the black. It became a thing. And I was like, why don't I just do the wash first over everything, be completely indiscriminate, and then I'll just paint black over the black parts, and then that's it. So that cuts down on time. Yeah, let's see. Ooh, so after I painted the black on the last video, I think I meant, no, it was the Clone Commando video. I mentioned what I was doing to help with paint rub. So I used super glue over the, let's see if I can point out the areas. Super glue on the shoulder joints, on the upper shoulders of the arms. Super glue on the hips, right there. I did super glue on the knees. And then I think I skipped the elbows, but I did do a layer of super glue over the shoulders, like over the shoulder pads, because I didn't want that yellow to wear too much. And I knew with this pauldron that shoulder was going to be connecting with this pauldron, and that was going to rub. So I put a layer of super glue over that. And dude, that protects everything. I've been posing the bejesus out of this guy, and I'm not seeing paint rub in any of the places. Shoulders, hips, shoulder pads, knees. I'm not really seeing any paint rub there on any of the black parts. So really great stuff. I recommend, if you're working with these figures, if you don't want to see that paint rub, little layer of super glue. I use a toothpick to apply it, very thin layer over any of the parts that you don't want the paint to rub, and you're good. Let's take another quick look at the belt and the comma. in case you wanted to do this mod. You can see where I just sort of cut the holsters out of it. The guns, I think, are supposed to fit in the holsters. It's a really tight fit. I think I did it when they were unfinished, but now that I painted them, it's going to be a tight fit. If I wanted to have that feature, I guess I would probably just Dremel out the interior of that holster just a little bit. But right now, I'm not really too worried about it. Get that off to the side. Stand this bad boy up. Start with the comparisons. Mega blocks. Or constructs. Or mega, whatever they're calling themselves. Star Wars Mission Fleet. So more comparable size, but that's about where the comparisons end. Phase 1 ARC Trooper, also Morphonauts. Clone Commando. It's Morphonauts. Oh. Clones and Clones. That's next to a Vintage Collection Star Wars ARC Trooper. So again, you can see that detail on the Morphonauts compared to a figure that's almost twice its size. And I mean, like, that's sick. God, love that yellow. Ooh, God, it looks so good. ARC Trooper goes bye-bye. Let's do a couple other comparisons to some Morphonauts. We've got the Space Marine that you'll see in another review. And here's a little preview of a Morphonauts Master Chief that I'll be posting. So there we have it. There's your Morphonauts Phase 2 ARC Trooper, another fantastic figure. I can't say enough good things about these figures. Just like, again, it comes down to the detail, the scale, the articulation, the quality of materials, the thought process that's going into the design. These are fantastic figures. I highly recommend you pick some up for yourself, see what they're all about, and paint them up. Let me know how it works out. Leave a comment, send me a message, and I will catch you later. See ya.